Alright guys, take number 2. Welcome to another episode of North 7 Outdoors. I'm your host Mark. And today we're going to talk about the CANCAST 2024. So let's start digging into her. Alright, so I got there about 8 o'clock, probably just before, maybe 7:45. Plan to line up at the lineup going into the other building for the swap meet, because I thought that they would probably be the best bang for your buck, in the sense of larger companies probably going to have 50 or 100 of each item, so you'll have time to buy it. But with swap meets, you know, they might have one of each item or something. You never really know, so I thought I'd do the grab bag section first. However, I got there and there wasn't anyone lined up there, so I went to the Memorial Center and lined up there and was like 50th or something in line. So what's pretty cool is if you're the first 100, 200, they give you free soft plastics. So one for me, one for my girlfriend. So it got into the Memorial Center. This year they let like 200 people in, all the way to the concession stand, which was nice if it was a bad weather out, but it was pretty nice out, so it didn't matter this year. But you never know what next year's going to bring. So it turns out there was a line for the swap meet section, but I don't think it started till after I got in the other line. The only reason I know that is because I saw like a drone footage of a lineup going the other way. So the plan was to run through the Memorial Center right to the swap meet, and that's what I did. So got there, and I'll talk about things I didn't like and what I did like about CANCAST probably at the end, but we'll just kind of walk you through my journey there. Alright, so when I go there, I've got buying high-end fishing tackle down to a science. I don't know everything, but I do know most things when buying high-end bass fishing tackle for the least amount of money. So when I go there, I'm looking for either the price of things or brand. So a lot of people are selling like power bait max scent, like 2 for $15 and stuff like that. Like, just kind of, it's like, that's a waste of my time. I didn't come to swap meets to pay 80% retail. You know, I can buy that stuff, you know, whenever I want. So anyways, that's the thing about swap meets. It doesn't matter what swap meet you go to. I mean, one guy's selling something for pennies on the dollar, the next guy wants 120% markup. So I saw this pack of Berkeley Max Scent Power Bait. This is a Creature Hog in... this is actually the South African color. I know that because I have some, and they work. So I was like, okay, well, how much are your soft plastics, sir? And he's like, $1 each. And I was like, okay. Alright, done. Deal. This is the first person I'm stopping at. So I ended up, you know, there's certain brands that I like. I like my Gary Yamamoto's, my Berkeley Max Scent, my Strike King. Those are probably my 3 favorite brands. And I like Gambler, Reaction Innovation, you know, Zoom, other brands. But those are probably my 3. So I'm always looking for those brands. I'm looking for a price associated with them. So with my expectations of CANCAST this year was a little low, and that's because the Johnson brothers weren't there. And if you were at the CANCAST of 2023, you'll know, if you're a high-end bass fisherman, they had the best booth by far. Probably because they got all their stuff for free, because they're world-class athletes. Or fishermen, whatever you know. So anyways, I got 40 bags of soft plastic. Cleared them out of everything you had, pretty much. With the brands that I like. So, I mean, this bag of Gary Yamamoto, Reaction Innovation, Zoom, Z-Man, Strike King, Berkeley Max Scent, that's probably $40 alone if I were to walk in the store. I mean, I got like 15 bags of Gary Yamamoto soft plastics, and the guy was like, "Do you fish Lake Erie a lot?" And I was like, "No, never been there. I come from the mountains." And he's like, "Well, I just noticed you bought a lot of like the Gary Yamamoto eye shads." I'm like, "Yeah, because they're like $9 at a store, and you're selling brand new packs for $1. So obviously, I bought every one you had." It's more about, I know Gary Yamamoto is a premium product, so I know whatever they make is going to work, or it will work for me because I have confidence, and therefore it will work. So if you ever see me out at the swap meet, don't talk to me, or just kidding. Come up and say hi. I appreciate it. I'm very socially awkward. I live out in the middle of nowhere. but you know, I can say hello to people. So this guy actually came up. He had a booth there. Very nice guy, and he had some good deals. So let's talk about that for a second. Alright, so right next to that guy, and I already forgot a step of my journey, and the second time through, this guy was selling some stuff, and he had some Spro, the Rust Lane Big Papas here. There we go. There we go. And they were making me an offer, and I was like, look, another guy selling Spros for 10 bucks a pop. So how about 10 bucks a pop? We'll do... I forget what these were. These were 4 for 20, I think. Maybe they were 5 for 20. I can't remember. I think they were 4 for 20, and I asked him to throw in one more extra bag. So I got 9 bags of Reaction Innovation. Look, they just make one of the best the beavers out there. Creature baits. They really do. So I got 9 packs of Reaction Innovation and 4 Spro crankbaits, which are probably 20 bucks each. Brand new for $70. Alright, so I'm already forgetting stuff. So the first guy I cleaned out, he actually had racks of hard lures. And he was selling them mostly for 3 bucks a pop. So I actually saw quite a few lures that he had. Let's see if I can. He gave me this Ziploc bag, which definitely should not have put so many lures in here, but I'm like, what did I do? Say no? Alright. Is that all the frogs? Alright. So he had all these frogs here for 3 bucks. Alright, so these 3 right here, these are 2 poppin' Spro frogs and a normal Spro frogs. I mean, they're getting close to 20 bucks each after tax these days. So that was $3 each. A couple live targets. I mean, they're over 10 bucks new anyways. Field mice. Not that I'm huge into frogs, but you know, I like to collect stuff. These are adorable. I didn't know that these existed. This is a really tiny lunker hunt frog, and these are really, really tiny. These actually cued me into live target. I don't think that they're marked as live target. I know they are because I have these frogs in this color. I have a couple of them in this color, but I've never seen live target frogs this small. But I know that they are based on the color. A head and spook and a little spitting image here, Bell Dan's. Again, 3 bucks for everything. So a lot of this was just kind of cool stuff, like another spitting image, a little bomber, square bill there, and not a square bill. I think it's just a crankbait, but it's not a square bill. Head in Zara spook there, and then to round off to an even 40 bucks, picked up this little Bell Lewis rattle trap there for $1. Alright, let's get this all back in the bag. But I mean, there's $100 worth of frogs alone, and a few crankbaits there for 40 bucks. Very good deal. Very happy with that. Alright, so stopped at those 2 booths. They were winners. Buy stuff from the guy that's selling the prints. He came up and said he watched my show. So thank you for the support, and I hope you sold a lot of your product. The Spros were a very good price. The Reaction Innovation, all this stuff was a good deal. But he also helps out the Ontario Bassmasters, the juniors. So I mean, I get prints here. There's 20 bucks for Cooper Gallant and 20 bucks for Corey Johnson and Mark Zona, who will be in the Hall of Fame. I believe he's getting inducted this year. Last year they were 2 for 50 or 25 bucks each. This year they're just 20 bucks flat out. So that was pretty cool. Excited to have those. All right. Let's see. So then, walking through, and I saw some Strike King Rage Tail. And I was like, okay, they're 3 for 10, so they had exactly 6 packs. So we got 6 packs here for 20 bucks. All look like they're brand new. Okay, then we went Alright, then I saw another guy, and he was selling some stuff 3 for $20, and they're Gary Yamamoto. So even though I just bought Gary Yamamoto stuff for $1 each, 3 for $20 was a great deal. Well, it was a very good deal. It wasn't a great deal, but 3 for $20, brand new, in colors that I like, was very good. So I got 7 packs of Gary Yamamoto, and this one is actually my favorite color for Gary Yamamoto: watermelon orange, watermelon copper flake, watermelon copper orange flake, something like that. And these frogs were also 3 for $20. So I ended up getting for $60 7 packs of Gary Yamamoto Senkos, and 2 Strike King KVD Sexy Frogs. There we go. All right. Then. One, two, three. All right, same booth. Guy was also selling some stuff 3 for $10. The Missile Chunky D's, good deal there. I think they just came out like a year ago. A couple packs of the Reaction Innovations, and a half open pack of Gary Yamamoto Senkos. And there's one more, I can't remember what it was. Walking out of the swap meet, we grabbed 3 bags, 2 of the eye shads, and 1 of these for the Reaction Innovation tubes for $10, 3 for $10. So that was it for like the swap meet. We kind of did a walk around there, and then it's like, all right, let's see what some of the actual vendors had. So let's talk about hook fishing, I guess, first. They had some straw hats there that I kind of wanted, matching straw hats, but they're $40 a pop, and they didn't have a sale on if you buy 2. Maybe I could have bought 2 for $70 or something, who knows. But they did have a sale on hoodies and sun shirts. So I did get this sun shirt here. They're 3 for $100. And this one, actually, this one's probably closer to 60 or $70. I mean, they're not cheap. I like this color. They're very limited for color. So I ended up getting 3 shirts, 2 of these, and then 1 for the girlfriend, for $100. Excuse me, taxes in. I have a rod here. There. Do you have a rod here? Sorry, guys. Right here. Alright, price tag and everything. That's the downfall of not being sorted out the second time through. So I stopped by the St. Croix booth. I didn't really need a rod, didn't plan on getting a rod, but they always do the warranty returns. The first year they had like 25, last year they had like 2. This year they had a handful when I got there, which was probably like 35, 45 minutes after it had opened. So who knows what they sold, but I got the 7'1" medium heavy St. Croix Mojo bass rod for $50. I mean, that's a steal. Alright. So, after that, next to him, the booths were kind of blended in. I don't know if the guy worked there or not, but he had this big bag of Power Pro fishing line in there. And I was just like, well, that's kind of weird. You don't really see that much Power Pro, like in a Ziploc bag there. So I was like, buddy, how much is your fishing line there? How much is your Power Pro? And he's like, well, you know, I used to be sponsored by Power Pro, and now I'm sponsored by Uzuri. And I was like, well, slow down, buddy. Did not ask you for your life story. I asked you how much the Power Pro was. Just kidding. I didn't say that. He seemed like a nice guy. So anyways, I guess he's sponsored by Yozuri now, so he's selling his Power Pro. So he's like $30. I'm like, my man, I was like done. I didn't even look to see the pound, and I didn't even look to see like how full the spools were. I assumed I'd probably get 1 reel per spool. So this is like a 1,500 yard spool. There's probably a few hundred yards left. So I mean, hell, that's probably close to $30 there. These are all 500 yard spools. I didn't know that Power Pro puts a 500 yard spool in a traditional like 150, 200 yard spool. I've never bought their 500 yard spool. I do have 1 or 2 spools of the 1,500 yards. So that was a steal there. They all come in like 30 to 65 pound braid, I think, a few 20s. and then 2 packs there. So I mean, there's probably enough to do 15 or 25 reels there, maybe 15 anyways. For 30 bucks, so $2 a reel for braid ain't bad. And especially at the swap meet, I mean, some people are selling Power Pro, the small packages, for 25 bucks a pop. I'm like, get the junk out of here. So I did forget one thing. So as I was walking out the swap meet section on my way to the main place where I got stopped at St. Croix and bought some stuff, I did see a guy there, and he stopped. And he was talking to me, and he was like, oh, you know, I'll sell you all this for $1 a pack. And so I bought 10 packs off him, some Zoom, some Big Bite baits, Bass Magnet there. Bass Magnet was a brand that I was going to do a review on. I have a few more packs there. I was going to stop at the Bass Magnet booth because they're 4 for $20 to get them from the horse's mouth, but I was like, whatever, I'll just pay $1. You know, I'll do a review based on a secondhand product. It's just as good. Alright, so went to hook fishing, we went to St. Croix. Then the other part of going to the main building was this year I'm doing a lot of reviews on local or Ontario bait manufacturers. I didn't get to go to everyone. I missed so many booths there. It's so busy and booths blend together. So there's a lot of companies that I just skip by. So if I skip by your booth, sorry. Next year, maybe I'll get some stuff. So, you know, as I was telling my girlfriend, you know, some people, I'm going to make some enemies. As a non-biased, honest review manufacturer, review of manufacturer's product here, some of these are going to be junk, but some of them will be great. And I will say, overall, other than this thing right here, I was pretty impressed with the prices. So Wham Baits here, custom mold. This thing looks pretty cool. $5, 4 for $20, very reasonably priced. So hopefully it's a good product. I've heard lots of good things about it. True North Baits, they were 4 for $20. So I'm like, hey, are these custom molds? He's like, no. I was like, is this a custom mold? This kind of looks funky. And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, what about this guy? Is he a custom mold? And he's like, no. He's like, I do have like 8 custom molds, but those aren't any of them. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Which is fine. I don't care. You know, not having a custom mold is not the end of the world. If you've got a good quality material that's going through the mold and good color, that will go a long way with me. Alright, so 4 for $20, and that, you know, I think I just said this, but I was impressed with the cost of local manufacturers with their product. So I don't know how my jig reviews are going to go, and if I give you a bad review on this, it's on you, but both of these people didn't quite understand what I was looking for. And I understand that most people don't fish a lot of Bancroft lakes. I can flip and pitch, not as good as a lot of people, but you know, my mechanics are there. I can do it. When I do it, it's because I'm flipping into an 80-foot pine tree that's 40 feet deep on a bank, and I know that there's a 4+ pound giant largemouth there. I know that I need a big flipping jig, or not even big. I need at least a 1/2 ounce or 3/4. I know it needs to get through there. It needs to pull a fish out of there. Easier said than done a lot of times. My favorite jig is probably the No Jack flipping hook version 2. But I'm not convinced it's the best one ever, so I'm going to try some. So I asked Jacked Up Jigs. I'm like, look, I need a heavy covered jig. And they're like, oh yeah, we have 1 ounce jigs. I'm like, no, I'm not punching anything. I'm going through tree limbs. Like, it's going to fall down there anyways. It's not going to sit on top of the tree limbs. Like, I need it to come out of the tree limbs. It'll get down there. It might not come back up. So he suggested a Woodwalker. For $5, I hope it's a good jig. We'll find out soon enough. Next I went to a brand I've heard so much about. They've been around for a very long time, have a very good reputation. That's Perfect Jig. So again, different person, but I was like, I need a heavy cover flipping jig. And he's like, yeah, like we do 7-8 ounce, I'm not. He's like, I may have an ounce over there, and I was like, no, I don't need a heavy jig. I need a heavy cover jig. Like same conversation. I understand Bancroft is not the most well-renowned part of Ontario for tournament fishing, and it would be too, or Land Lakes if there was just boat access, but there's not for big tournaments, which is what it is. That's life. So these were expensive. So I am expecting a lot from these. So these were $8. He's like, you won't get hung up on these. I'm like, are you sure? Because I'm like, I'm throwing it through nasty cover here. Just be honest with me. And he's like, yeah. He's like, you're not going to get snagged on this. And for $8 a pop, I better not get snagged. Let's see here. Whew. I'm sure I got more stuff. Okay. 50. Oh, right here. Alright, so after I grabbed a bunch of stuff, and again, didn't stop at everyone's booth, sorry about that, CANCAST is hectic. I was like, well, let me do one more round through the swap meet, see if I miss anything. And one guy was selling soft plastics. 4 for 20. And he's like, but if you buy more, I'll cut you a deal. So we ended up doing 9 for 40, I think, and then I just called it a day after that, and that was a couple hours. So we ended up getting about 100 plus bags of soft plastics anyways, a few cranks, a handful of frogs, some hoodies, a rod. So it was a pretty good CANCAST. Pretty proud of myself. Spent about $550 or less. I brought about $2,000 with me because you just never know what you're gonna get. So you gotta if I don't have a problem spending $2,000 if I know I'm getting $6,000+ worth of product. So for $500, I feel pretty confident I got about $1,500 worth of product if I were to walk into the store. So my expectations, were a little low because the Johnson Brothers weren't there, and that was the deal last year. East Hill Outdoors wasn't there. Last year their booth wasn't anything special, but the year before I thought they had like one of, if not the best booth. So I was a little up. I was like, oh, that sucks that they're not there. But overall, it was pretty good. Was it better than last year? It was good. It was up there, but I don't know if it was better than last year. The thing is, CANCAST is a platform. What people choose to do with their platform is up to them, and a few things I wasn't happy about. They had some swap meet price gougers there. The people that go out and were selling like 13 fishing crankbaits, like 2 for 20 or something. And you're like, that you could go to a tackle store and they're discontinued and they're like $3. So they're just trying to double or triple their money, and there's no need for that. Look, or Power Pro for $20 when it's on sale at East Hill Outdoors for $10. I mean, buy it for $10, turn around, pay the tax on it. You're at $11.50. Turn around, sell for $15, make $3.50 a spool. Sell 200 spools. Everyone's happy. It's $15. But I mean, to get that extra $5, I mean, that's just whatever. It's your right to price gouge. It's my right to call you out on your BS. What I didn't like as well was a lot of companies, and I'm not gonna criticize their sales or anything, but I'll criticize their lack of information. So we have Tackle Depot, we have Peterborough Pro Tackle, and then there's a few from Toronto. I don't know the names, like JB or PJs, or I don't know. But they're all kind of the same, just tackle stores. What I didn't like was, I don't feel like they did a good job appealing to their customers, because it's like, here I am, I've got more money than sense. Who wants my money, right? So none of them did a good job, as far as I'm concerned, about letting people know what their deals were. And I do realize that you do have 4 or 5 tackle shops which are in direct competitors, and more or less so. If one person has a sale 25% off, the next person might be like, well, I'll do 30% off. And your profit margin might go down, but whatever. I mean, that's just healthy for the customer. But I felt like they all neglected to inform people about their sales. So me personally, I'm not going to Tackle Depot or Peterborough Pro Tackle or any of the other stores. And the only reason I'm not calling you by names because I don't know your names. But, and again, constructive criticism here. I'm not going to your stores first because it's a true grab bag. So why would I lose the first 30 minutes of my store, or my time digging through your store and knowing that, like, oh, I don't want your deals? And people might be like, well, 30 minutes, I mean, who cares? But I mean, look, CANCAST is the biggest tackle show in Canada, for sure. But there's only a very finite amount of premium deals. I'm probably responsible for taking 5% of the premium deals at CANCAST yesterday. So 1/20th of the best deals in Canada, the biggest show, I took. So I mean, time is of the essence there. I mean, I completely cleaned that guy out for $1 a bag from Gary Yamamoto's. Of all of his striking, of all of his jackals, of all of his reaction innovations. I mean, he took everything he had. Same thing with other booths. I mean, and the way that things are going, and that's it for CanCast. But I mean, for the negatives, I just wanted to let, if people watch this, I mean, let people know what your sales are so they can come in there and decide if it's worth their time to spend their money or not. I feel like a lot of vendors failed at that. Constructive criticism. The good, I mean, there's a lot of good. I was very pleasantly surprised. I got a lot of fishing tackle for a few $100. I spent way under what I expected to. And I was happy that the $20 cost of ticket was easily justified. So anyways, guys, I'm about to lose my voice. Thank you guys for watching, and take care.